Oh, what are you saying, Slappy? You think your position here is preferable? Well, that makes sense. It has been played so many times. Yes, I agree. You are occupying the center here against the fitted door type of structure. Yes, that's a good plan. And then d4 to take the center. I get you.
I don't know, Gomez. Thing has had much more practice with chess, many more years.
Yes, and he has a heart. Oh, yeah.
That's not our heart. Whose heart? Who
Where
is he
did-
playing with? Where is
Yeah.
Uncle Fester?
Oh,
Thing.
I haven't seen him lately. Where do you think Slappy did he get him? Wow. Maybe it was a bad chess game that Thing did not enjoy.
Perhaps it was. Speaking of chess, welcome to the Jekyll Hyde Club. Today's meeting will be discussion of the Harry Potter chess set. And if you're not into Harry Potter but you're into chess, you'll like this set because it's kind of old school chess. As in, like, for example, originally the queen was not the queen, she was the Grand Vizier, and she was a he. And this chessboard makes it that way. And the figures are like almost mini action figures. They're so large. It has nothing to do with the Harry Potter characters. It's just the chessboard that was used in the book and the movie. Well, the chess pieces. We're actually using a nice wooden chessboard that Gomez, that I encouraged him to buy. Because the board that the chess set came with is so small that it's just constantly, the figures are large, the board is small, and it's just like, it's a very crowded game. No space, no room to breathe. And I think if one piece toppled, it would just wreck the whole game because it would be dominoes.
Yeah.
The board for the Harry Potter game was, I have it somewhere in our storage space. I just can't find it at the moment. I went outside and looked, and it's beautiful weather. The wind is blowing, it's raining, but just not really conducive to me wanting to look that long. I scanned around and couldn't find it, but it's a blue and red board, is that right?
Yes.
So it's kind of strange, it's not black and white, but on this board we have black and white. And the board folds up, so it's really nice. What Gomez uses it for actually is when he is out at the chess club and he just wants to take a quick portable board. He uses some small pieces from another magnetic chess set that we have, and then he takes the Harry Potter folding board. Because the board does fold into 4 pieces. It's like a sturdy, thick cardboard. And again, it's red and blue instead of traditional black and white. We prefer black and white, but nothing is black and white except chess in life.
Ooh.
Slappy agrees. So, anyway, the board folds, and it folds into 4. It's sturdy, thick cardboard, but it is cardboard, and now we have this nice wooden one. And this wooden one is like twice the size. The cardboard one is great for travel, for fold up, and I think it's nicer with the smaller pieces that we have. So we have the big Harry Potter pieces with a big board. We kept the smaller Harry Potter folding board that I cannot find at the moment with small pieces. So it's a better match, and I've spent plenty of time explaining it to you, so even though you cannot see it, I'm sure you now comprehend the concept of the small Harry Potter folding board. And if you guys happen to be new to the Jekyll Hyde Club, stick around and check out our daily dose of strange. We're always reviewing fun products because every time we're out, someone will comment on something one of us has and say they like it. And so we just decided to start reviewing all our cool stuff. I'm Morticia, this is Gomez, and our roommate Slappy. And of course our other dear roommate Thing. Guess we'll leave them alone to get to their chess game while Gomez discusses the pieces.
Yes. They're very interesting pieces. There's the rook that of course looks like a tower or a castle the way it used to be in the old days, and there is a soldier entrenched on it to defend it. Then the bishop is characterized by the crook that is the staff of office.
I think it's neat that a lot of chess players call the rook the castle, and that it does actually look like a castle with the rook on top to be vigil at the watchtower.
Yes, if you were ever wondering why older players or some people use it and it seems like an older terminology, that explains it, because that's where the origins are from. And
they're like, I would say 3-inch figures at least, and they're 3D. They're hard vinyl, like an action figure that doesn't pose, and they have a nice base on the bottom that Gomez can show eventually. It's not picking up. It's good for balancing them.
Let's see, yes, I'll show it to you right now before I forget.
They're large, but they're lightweight, and it's just fun. It gives chess a lot more character.
And this Shield of the Knight features cross, which would be about medieval style.
Like our Harry Dresden bracelet that we reviewed a while back.
Yes. And this chess set imitates the one featured, some of you would remember from the movies, where Ron Weasley played wizard chess, and he played the Unicorn Gambit that was designed by real-life chess master Jeremy Silman, one of the most popular chess authors out there.
Didn't Roger Zelazny do something with that?
Yes, there was the unicorn variation that was fantasy. Apparently, somebody could play it. It is supposed to be unplayable, but in fast games, it actually plays really well. And Roger Zelazny described it. He had a high IQ, was like a scientist and stuff like that.
One of our favorite fantasy authors.
Yeah, so he definitely came up with a good one.
That was in his Amber series.
And what else? Yes, okay, so this is the bishop with the recognizable crook of his office as was practiced in medieval church. Then the king, it seems more like the king would be like a battle monarch type of thing. I guess by medieval times kings didn't often engage in battles directly, so maybe this
Well, if you
is...
think about Game of Thrones, they kind of did, or they were all like cowards.
Yes,
They're right out in the front. It depends on where they were, I guess.
so true.
And of course, if you look at the Egyptian pharaohs, which I know this is not an Egyptian one, of course, like Ramses the Great always led his
Yes,
people into battle.
he was a good Ramses, yes.
My favorite pharaoh, in case anyone doesn't. Only obsessive a little.
Well, and rightly so. He deserved the reputation of a military leader and a strategist and the earliest PR expert in a sense.
No, that was his scribe.
So then the knight is very interesting.
It's definitely a knight on a horse instead of just the stupid vague horse that a lot of the chess games have now.
Yeah.
So many of the modern chess sets just lose the point, and I love the flavor in this.
Yes, I so agree. And I keep moving the camera all over because I get mesmerized by each piece and like, I like this one, I like this. And yeah, so the queen is it seems appropriate, kind of like sometimes I have
He's not a queen, he's a vizier, a grand vizier.
yeah,
Go
but
Persian chess.
but I'm thinking that in medieval times, in a sense, I could see him being a sort of a Cardinal Richelieu type of thing, like a grey cardinal behind the throne that advises the king, serves as his
Like the way the queen could advise the king sometimes.
Yes.
But it's a guy in this, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Like, yeah, for some
Because
reason...
really, in medieval times, the queen didn't have all the power, so I don't know. That's kind of a weird change now.
Yeah.
Because in the chess game, the queen is one of the most powerful pieces, if not the most powerful.
Yeah, and that only coincided with a relatively recent in chess history change of rules. Before that, the queen could not make quite as many operations, but it was like within the last maybe 200 years, the chess grandmaster Yuri Averbach discovered it through his historical research. That there were Polish games and records of them where the queen was actually somewhat weak enough before the rules changed in the 1800s type of thing. So
I like these figures. The reason I got these for Gomez in the beginning was because we were looking at a lot of neat chess sets. There were some like dragon ones and some wizard ones, and they looked really pretty, but they were all saying they were made out of resin and not used for playing. Like, do not buy this to play with it. And it's like, well, why would you want it to sit there and take up space and display it, not to play with it? Like, we do both with this. You can display it and it looks neat, and you also play with it. So I was really excited to find this, and it was a very low price. We'll leave a link, but and when we got it, it was, I mean, like 20 or 30 bucks, and maybe less, but it's really big figures, really nice 3D. They look cool for display, and you can also play with them, and they're old world style, like the way chess was back when.
ooh, I like. So, on a practical note, if you're playing a fast game, then the knight could be problematic. It is not entirely stable, so if you try to slam it down the board as you would do when you are on time, then that could create difficulties and you could misfire and put it in the wrong square type of thing. So,
It's kind of top heavy a little.
yeah,
But he still balances, just be careful.
yeah. But other than
A
that,
lot better, I think, if you buy a bigger board.
yeah.
Like this one, because the original board is just so crowded. I was just like, this is bothering me to look at. Even when they were displayed, they were so jammed together.
Yeah, that's why they came up with the standard size for a regular tournament board. The Staunton is like, say, 18 by 14 inches or something. And if you do anything smaller, you can play with it, you can see it, but if you play really fast, it would challenge you, I think. So at least it challenges me to play on a smaller board.
And even with smaller pieces, it can. When I moved from a large board to a small one, I even had smaller matching pieces, and it was still kind of screwy for a while. And this was a small board with big pieces, so that's my only complaint about the thing is the board, but we really bought it for the pieces. It's easy just to get a nice board, and it looks better on the wooden board. It gives it more of an expensive look.
Yes.
I like the little pawns because they are supposed to be just little, you know, foot soldiers that can be expendable, and they have these cute little soldiers that when I was first like opening them like I thought it was a turtle because I'm legally blind, okay, and I just kind of picked it up and glanced at it and I'm like, is that a turtle? Because it's like, you know, you see this shell on the back and then the little head, the little round head, but it's the helmet obviously and the armor, and he's bending over at this weird angle that, like, I'm going, is that a turtle? Why would they put a turtle? And then I looked at it again and went, oh, it's a knight in a really weird position, or a foot soldier or knight, whatever.
Yeah, I like to think of it, it's not necessarily documented or anything, but my association with it is of the Alexander the Great's army crossing towards Persia, and the Persian soldiers were ambushing them in a famous ambush between the mountains, and they would be hunching down like that, waiting to drop rocks on them, and the Alexander soldier would defend with the shield. So like that's how I like
that
to
makes sense. It's a nice mix because the armored knights are more like Alexander-ish, I would assume.
Yeah.
Like on the horse. But then, like, you know, the vizier that I always think of the queen as in this is the Grand Vizier, is very Persian.
Yeah.
So it's like this chess set has a lot of neat influence mixes, but they're all old school. They're all like before they just got made into annoying wooden pieces that you have to memorize the shape of. The thing when I was first learning chess, like ages ago, was like, well, in high school when I first did it, then I forgot it and had to relearn it, but through Gomez. He's a great teacher. So, but yeah, like, it's just like each piece is just a piece of wood, and you have to memorize what each one means. And it was kind of hard. Like, I just studied one a week so I'd keep it in my head. But, you know, now with these, like, because they're actually the figure of the thing they're supposed to be, it's so much easier. And I think that I wish that the people who make games wouldn't be so lazy and would actually make the wooden ones and all of them like this, because it would be so much easier to learn when you just look at it and you can tell who it is.
That's a good idea. I like that.
And it makes more sense than just like vague wooden shapes. And it's just, I don't get the point of why they started doing that.
Yeah, that's a very good point for educational purposes, and chess is great on education, so it should keep up with the times.
Yeah, it teaches thinking. Well, go back to the times.
Yeah.
This is how it was more back when. Then it was a lot easier to remember who was whom.
Yeah. I completely agree. And when I was learning it myself, I probably could have used some kind of an aid like that too, so...
Just makes it a lot easier. I don't see the point of having it just the different shapes.
Yeah.
Especially when they represent stuff. It's more like you're really playing a game and you're really getting to play war when you can see the knights on the horses and the different foot soldiers and everything. It's like, and the rook watching out in the tower. It's like you get more into the character of the game.
Yeah.
And chess it's a sport. It's a mental sport. It can tire you out. It's fascinating. All the different things you can do and all the different ways you can lose.
Yeah, and when you think about it, even the current world champion Magnus Carlsen boasts of a really great physical shape, and that's not accidental, because chess does require lots of stamina. When you're sitting at the board, it's not just lazy sitting, as some people could imagine. It's something that requires lots of effort, lots of concentration.
Oh, lots of concentration. If I zone for a second, I can either do something stupid or miss something somebody else did. And there's so many things to look out for. One person's move, you know, it can mean a lot. It can mean several things on several fronts of the game because of consequences. So it's kind of like chess and life. They're so similar.
I like that.
The philosophy of chess and life.
Yes, there were times when I would get different little philosophical principles by just observing chess positions.
Yeah, it's like, this is just how it is in life. When you have a situation and you don't see all the sides and you react and you get screwed, just like I just lost this game. Yeah. We could write a book that the philosophy of life and chess. So, yeah, it's a fun game. It's a good mental exercise to show you really even how to think in life and how to look at things from every angle instead of just one perspective. Because if you look at chess and you look at what's happening on the board from just one perspective, you are screwed. Like, oh, I can do this, but then when you do this, this person can do this, 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 or this. And do you want that or do you not want that? And what will the different ramifications be for now or for 5 moves later? And it's just like...
Yeah, the best of us can calculate like 10 moves ahead or more. The very best of us don't even have to. So that's how it works.
Dude, I have to say, Gomez was in this one chess federation thing, and he was playing with this guy who is totally blind. And I don't think it matters that he can see or not see. Like, in this case, I think anybody who can do this is brilliant. He could play 10 chess games in his head and not even worry about the board. And I'm like, I can't do it with one.
Yeah, I couldn't do it either.
And Gomez is good, and I think he maybe Gomez beat him once, maybe, and he beat you the rest? Is that
Yeah,
right?
like 4 times out of 5.
And Gomez is good. I mean, like... I
can-
beat him once when we were watching a show, and I was so happy because I know that, you know, he just was zoned or not paying attention. We were into our show and playing. And then I beat him once when he was playing 2 other people, but I was still really happy. That's how good he is.
At my best, I can drink, role play, talk to people, and still win 3 or 4 games with average people.
Yeah. I remember at our friend's party, he had like, we don't drink a lot, but at the party, you know, sometimes we get happy, so we had like 7, he's Russian and I'm Irish, so we can do this. 7 vodka drinks, 7 vodka with like juice, and won 7 games of chess in a row. My brother Walter got him where he couldn't drink and play in the beginning. He was like, oh, I can't. So Walter would get him drunk and take a few of his pieces, and then give him chicken and food and drink, and he would win. But now, if he plays you, he's not going to be. Walter, if you're watching this, he's gotten better at the drinking and playing. So
You'll have to give me greater amounts. Maybe.
get him in the food coma.
Yeah.
I don't remember if you've done really well in the food coma still.
No, the food is more difficult.
Yeah, because when you're zoning and super full, it's just like harder. You can't
Yes.
zone during chess. You have to have that mental acuity, like you said.
Yes.
So, okay, we have rambled on way too much, but we like chess. So.
Yes.
We try to usually just get to the review, but we will leave a link for this. And even if you're not a Harry Potter fan, you just enjoy unique chess. Again, you can play with this and not break it. So, yay! We'll let Slappy and Thing get back to their game. And thank you for joining us. And until next time.
Try to enjoy the daylight.